From A350's exceptional qualities to its unbelievable feature installed by Airbus, these are the ways Airbus A350 is destroying its competitors. And we gotta start with its composite material. A350 is the first Airbus aircraft which is largely made of carbon fiber reinforced plastic. When the carbon fiber and plastic get combined, it makes the material much stronger than normal metals and much lighter than the commonly used aluminum. Also, this material is more resistant to corrosion, reducing net fuel burn and maintenance costs, which is simply amazing. But that doesn't mean the A350 had no pitfalls, because when Qatar Airways forced a legal action against Airbus, things changed for the aircraft. Qatar Airways was the one to launch both variants of the A350 and was very pleased with its performance. But in 2021, they filed a lawsuit against the manufacturer for an alleged $2 billion due to the surface paint cracking issues of the A350. According to the airline, this cracking led to the copper mesh exposure, which would pose a safety problem if lightning ever struck during a flight. Even though this legal action has been resolved with a settlement and the case got dropped, it still changed A350's situation for good, as it somewhat forced the manufacturer to make changes. Airbus started to work towards changing the metal coating, which they revealed had begun in 2019. They also said it was usual for a manufacturer to continue working on aircraft development, and was not because of the litigation. Ultimately, the airplane manufacturer replaced the expanded copper foil that sits between the paint and the carbon fuselage with an even lighter material known as perforated copper foil. The reason behind this change is that PCF is lighter and a better material, and the fact that it also eases cracking is clearly a bonus, making the A350 super dangerous for its competitors. And because of such constant innovations, the A350 is already loved by many airlines worldwide. Since its inception, it has been getting good reviews. Virgin Atlantic even mentioned how Airbus A350 became the quietest and most economical long-haul jet ever built. The reason behind their claims was that the plane was built with durable, light material, along with its advanced aerodynamic design and amazing Rolls-Royce XWB engines. But Virgin Atlantic wasn't alone in praising the A350. French B Airlines also stated how it suits them perfectly. They consider it as their favorite as it meets their demands in terms of capacity. Each model variant has a particular route perfectly suited, and it seems that they would even acquire more models over time. But while the A350 got great reviews, and Airbus resolved this issue as well, the aircraft is also winning due to Boeing's continued struggles, which are so bad that they never seem to end. Boeing was optimistic that things would improve after the pandemic, but sadly, they only worsened. When the pandemic ended, the FAA found problems with the company's 787 Dreamliner. Although it wasn't grounded like the MAX, it still affected the company's overall production, as they spent a great amount of time fixing the problems with the MAX and Dreamliner, which led to a delay in producing other models. Along with this, the company's also struggling financially. They've been reporting many quarterly losses due to abnormal production costs. They even revealed that their revenues will be unstable going forward as it recovers from the supply chain issues, canceled orders, etc. So much so that Boeing CEO even declared,
"Our margins from an accounting standpoint will be bouncy throughout this year, largely built around the return to service of the inventoried airplanes, both the MAX and the 787.
Along with this, Boeing also struggled as they earned less than expected when selling some of its planes, which somewhat reveals that its income will be unpredictable in the near future. But despite Boeing's tough situation, Airbus is also aware of how important it is for an aircraft to be constantly upgraded. And while the new coating material is already mentioned, there's another interesting feature, which not only has already been tested on the A350, but also can and will change the future of aviation. Airbus's subsidiary Up Next has been spearheading a program which tested pilot assistance technologies. This new innovation, known as Dragonfly safety technology, has been tested on an A350 1000 and has already shown incredible progress. Its main focus is to find means of helping a single pilot fly the plane easily, especially when the other pilot becomes disabled or is simply passed out. It will assist the pilots in the air and on the ground until the issue is resolved, with the automatic landing and crew incapacity assistance. The Dragonfly has also shown that it can successfully auto-divert during a cruise and launch, the auto-land sequence. It can also take in external factors such as weather, airspace, and objectives. So if this technology is successful and permanently placed on the A350, and hopefully on others too, it will make a huge difference in the world of aviation. But while the A350 is constantly upgrading and shining in the market, Boeing is also helping the A350 grow rapidly, simply by giving its opportunities to steal their customers from them. Boeing has been trying to source additional 777s to help its customers, along with giving the advice of retaining some of their 777s for a bit longer, until they can deliver the 787 Dreamliner. And the reason behind it is due to the supreme delays in the delivery of their 787 Dreamliners. These Boeing problems have opened several doors for Airbus, as the European manufacturer could use the opportunity to supply A350s to those customers, which I believe could seem quite attractive to them. But the unfortunate condition of Boeing is not just because of their airliner business. Their once thriving defense and space division has been crumbling, which also has somewhat created problems for the Boeing to compete with Airbus. At first, the Boeing Space Division recorded a big win in 2022. NASA's Artemis 1, the company's giant space launch system, shot a mannequin-filled crew vehicle to the moon and back in a bid to return Americans to the moon. Despite the launch being 4 years behind and 30% more expensive than the $9 billion initially calculated, it was a success, and the Boeing company could not have been more pleased. But apparently, it was not enough for NASA. Elon Musk's SpaceX was the one who knocked off Boeing from being the second largest contractor based on annual spending, as the company completed 5 flights to the space station since 2020. Until the day of this recording, has been awarded more than 8 new contracts as well. Besides being behind schedule in carrying out tasks, Boeing has also struggled in adapting to new methods used in space. SpaceX has been able to create several space equipment that is less expensive than what their contemporaries like Boeing has to offer, thereby making Boeing less and less relevant. This has contributed to the company's decreasing value, and thus getting less financial resources available to compete in commercial aviation as well. But while Boeing is struggling, Airbus is improving the A350 in the cargo area as well, which simply put is a game changer. This freighter plane, known as A350F, is said to have unbeatable efficiency and sustainability. Just like the passenger A350, this plane also has Trent XWB engines, which means that it is very efficient regarding CO2 emissions and fuel burn. And when compared to other freighter jets like 747F and 777F, its fuel efficiency is unbeatable. But the most interesting thing about this freighter jet is the livery and the implementation of an extra-large main deck cargo door. The cargo door, known as XLMDCD, is the largest cargo door ever installed on a freighter aircraft. It's set to measure 175 inches in width, which when described how large it'll be, the manufacturer said the Trent 7000 engine could easily fit in one go. Now that's impressive. However, Airbus's battle with Boeing is on 2 fronts, as it's not just the A350 that seems to be destroying Boeing. Have you seen the enhanced A380 just yet? Airlines are dying to have it among their fleet again, so much so that every airline wants one, especially with all the new improvements and features they've been adding to it. So what is so special about the A380 this time? And how is it way better compared to any of the Boeing aircraft? I know you want to hear more about this, so just click this video right here.